events explore the business and social implications of technological innovations. These events invite speakers from around the world to share their stories. One such speaker is Lisa Ma. Welcome, Lisa.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
So what topic did you share with other innovators at LIFT?
So I was invited by LIFT to talk about the importance of society and activism in the technological world. In the field of technology, we're seeing very big changes. So for example, an innovation leader at MIT's Media Lab, they've been changing their motto from demo or die to deploy or die. So demo or die means that you don't have to definitely have to have a technology made or the system completely done, but people have to get a feel and sense of it before it's... So we've been seeing lots of demos actually across the innovation spectrum. And similarly with the world of protest and activism, we've been seeing all these demonstrations happen, and actually 2014 was a very aggressive, impressive and quite bizarrely innovative year of different memes coming out. And I wanted to talk about what happens now that in the technology world, they're talking about deploy or die, that as things get cheaper and easier, you have to make it or someone else is going to do it. And this is actually going to apply to activism, because demos are becoming, in a way, so easy to do with social media that it's becoming a bit cheap. So there's a term called clicktivism, which can be moved on to slacktivism or armchair activism. So how does the world of society change with the world of technology? Before, in somewhere like LIFT, they talked about what the next technology is going to be, how we're going to buy it, how it's so cool. And now we're really thinking about, well, how is technology changing the way we interact? How is it changing the way that we want to protest or we want to voice ourselves?
So you do a lot of work across the UK and China, but what do you think attributed to speaking at LIFT?
I think so LIFT and I, the organisers at LIFT and I, we've been in contact over the past few years, and now it's hitting this point where it's got the 10-year anniversary. So there's quite a deep reflection going on within LIFT and the technology innovators that they invite. So before it was really about exhibiting the next new cool app, gadget, fad, and now it's talking about how does this affect us in the long term, how much change has happened. So probably back in those days there was a lot of mottos and slogans that was thrown around. How have we changed by now, and what are the next potential directions, problems, spaces or dangers that we might be facing? And this is something not just about China, but it's also a global phenomenon as well. What are the different problems that we have to address when we go to different places in the world? We can't just be pretending that technology is simply bringing us happier lives, more wealth. What are the other problems that we haven't really looked at locally in each place? These are very different issues, even though it's a global network.
So it's a really interesting viewpoint you've taken of the views of technology. But were there any innovations that you saw at LIFT recently that you see the potential of shaping sort of future economies or culture, or just simply inspired you?
I was really humbled actually. There was Alexander Rose, and he made a clock. I've kind of seen this at the Science Museum before, where he made a clock that ticks for 10,000 years. And for me, you know, I hope to live for a long time, but 10,000 years is really thinking in a scale that's much further than myself as an individual, or even, you know, my generation, my family, or even humanity possibly. So he also looked at the fundamentals of what it means to have longevity, that maybe there's a lot less sentiment to it, so he had one example, which is, for example, these buildings like Egypt and the pyramid, how the outer surface was really precious, so that people can loot the outer surface and keep the main structure behind. And these are some of the things that you wouldn't really normally think about. Also, Adrian Hahn, so he's been a technologist, he's a startup founder, and he wrote a book that's looking at the future in 100 objects. So they're very kind of speculative scenarios about the technologies that we already have. And this for me was really cool, because this is the field that we do in design, in design fictions, critical design, speculative design, and it's really lovely to see innovators also starting to bridge with us along that same field.
So LIFT's been to Europe, it's been to America, it's been to Asia, and it was held in Shanghai last year. So do you think innovators benefit from, you know, a platform like this on a global scale?
I think it's about time. Before, these conferences were the hubs where they would fly people from around the world, and ones that came from China or Africa brought in exotic stories. And now the power dynamics are really changing, and the way that we're actually being on location rather than just becoming spectators of these stories. We're really becoming more involved in these stories rather than being sort of entertained by them in some way. And also as a platform, there's more and more of these conferences, and as someone that works in this very strange field of socializing activism and speculative design and researching and speaking, it's bringing much more fields than just exhibiting in a gallery, to bring it to these spectrums of people that are actually making changes happen, and there's more platform for us to have a debate and maybe do a collaboration together, tinker something, and look at and experiment with things faster.
It's an absolutely fascinating subject, and thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you very much.
That's all from Lisa and myself for now. Thank you for tuning in, and remember to keep clicking back. Bye for now.